Good morning, social studies friends and family. It's Mr. Hutchinson here with a weekly social studies video update. Back to the Fridays. No tie today, sorry about it. But we'll talk a little bit about what we have been doing and what we will be doing. So we're pretty close to on track, but not quite on track with what we tried to get through today, or this week, excuse me. So if you look at the screen here, you'll see that on Monday we're working on Justinian's Code and the survival of the Eastern Empire, really exploring the idea of what the Byzantine Empire is. Really the first time we've talked about the Eastern Roman Empire. But we talked about Justinian's Code, we talked about Theodora and how he was an emperor, we talked about how line of succession worked and that sort of thing through that. We got to the Magna Carta, but not on Tuesday, so that kind of came later in the week. But we have talked about the Magna Carta and King John and King Richard and the ideas that the Magna Carta brought to the people of England. We have not quite done the citizenship. That's what we're doing today. We talked a little bit about it yesterday. We're going to finish it off today. We're going to do a little graded assignment with the Magna Carta today. So that was the graded assignment is now here on Friday. The ancient citizenship is now here on Friday, which means we'll do political end of unit check starting on Monday. So here is, if I can get to it, hold on 1 second. Sorry, it's hidden so you can't see it. Sorry. So this is what's going on next week. You will notice that Tuesday is election day, and so that day is a work day. So we're going to be starting on the Monday with our political end of unit check, and students will have the entire class period to work on that. If they need more time, it will be given on Wednesday. I'll collect it, bring it, they'll be able to do some more work on it on Wednesday. I have noticed over the past, half of a year that we've done it, most kids need a day to a day and a half to finish it. There are some exceptions to that, but most of the students can get it done in a day to a day and a half of class work. That means that on Wednesday, we'll start our unit on economics. And so we'll start with vocabulary pre-assessment, where I give them a sheet. They just fill in as many words as they know. And a lot of them don't know a lot of the words, but that's okay. That's why we're in school, to learn some of these things. And then we'll start jumping into what is economics. So we're going to do some real basic economic stuff, trade, barter, ancient world stuff. We're going to talk about supply. We're going to talk about demand. We're going to talk about the different kinds of economic systems, like a traditional economy versus a mixed economy versus a market economy versus a command economy. We're going to talk about resources like human resources and natural resources and capital resources, some real basic economic terms mostly, so that they kind of have an idea of that. And once we're kind of finished with that, which takes a couple of days, we're going to get into, we have a barter bag game that happens at the end of next week, hopefully, where students will be given a bag full of school materials. It's got like erasers and straws and things in it, and they have to trade, but they have to get a list of things, and what it talks about is supply and demand, and the students really understand scarcity and what happens when you can't get what you want. So that's a game that we'll play. And then as we get into next week, the week after this, we'll start getting into the history of economics, and we'll be talking about the Silk Road, and we'll be talking about the gold and salt trade in West Africa, and we'll be talking about ancient Rome and all of the trade networks around the world. So that's kind of what we do with economics. So don't forget that if you are interested in checking in with your students on how they're doing, this paper right here, which is called the Political Unit Compelling and Supporting Questions, is basically the assessment, this end of unit check that we call it. And if you're unsure of what to do, if it's blank, you can students can go into their Canvas site, which looks like this on the screen, go into modules, and then right here is what's called the political slide deck, which looks like this. It's got a big blue thing on it. And this, if you go through, there are information about government and citizenship with an article right there, some content. If they're missing something in here, it has all of the different types of government in here with videos or screens that you can go through, and they could fill things in. If this is in some way missing something, this is a good place to go to get finished with it. So that's some of the things that are happening here in social studies this week, and what we did last week, and what we will be doing in the future. So if you have any questions, please let me know. If not, have a lovely weekend, and we'll see you next week.